made lots of meatloaf over the years, and I've showed you how to make meatloaf with a mushroom gravy and a turkey meatloaf. I came across this Copycat Cracker Barrel meatloaf recipe and thought I would give it a try, and I'm so glad I did. It turned out great. I'm starting by making the sauce topping. It is real simple with 3 ingredients: ketchup, brown sugar, and a little mustard. Giving that a good mix and setting to the side. Now in a large bowl I'm adding 3 eggs and giving them a good whisk. I usually use breadcrumbs or saltine crackers in my meatloaf, but this recipe calls for Ritz cracker crumbs. I'm using a sleeve and a half and just crushing them in a plastic bag and then adding to the eggs. To this I'm adding some finely diced onion and green bell peppers. The peppers can be optional because some people don't like them in their meatloaf. I think they really added to the meatloaf flavor. In goes some milk, salt, and black pepper. For the cheese, I'm using sharp cheddar cheese, but I do believe Cracker Barrel uses Colby Jack cheese. Giving everything a good mix. Just a reminder that you'll be able to find this recipe, the list of ingredients, and much more in the Show More section below. I've also included links where you can purchase online some of the ingredients and equipment that I use in this video recipe. If you have a chance, please check it out. I'm adding in my ground beef, and I'm using an 85-15 blend. Mixing well until combined, and be careful not to overmix. I'm adding the meatloaf mixture to a foil-lined baking pan and forming into a loaf. I'm baking this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. It's been 30 minutes and now I'm spreading and brushing on my topping. This will go back in the oven and bake for another 30 minutes or until done. The meatloaf is done and it smells wonderful. Going to let this cool for about 15 minutes before slicing. I thought I would make this a Cracker Barrel meal, so I also made a copycat version of Cracker Barrel's Hashbrown casserole. They both required a 350 degree Fahrenheit oven, so it was nice that I could bake them both at the same time. I made a video recipe for the Copycat Hashbrown casserole, so stay tuned in the future for that recipe. As I said before, this meatloaf turned out way beyond my expectations. It was so good and my family just loved it. The meatloaf was moist with a great flavor and texture. There was no leftovers for midnight meatloaf sandwiches. I hope you give this Copycat Cracker Barrel meatloaf recipe a try and enjoy. If you missed my last video recipe, I showed you how to make a very delicious Copycat Cracker Barrel meatloaf. I will leave a link for the meatloaf video recipe here and in the Show More section below. Both the meatloaf and the Hashbrown casserole required a 350 degree Fahrenheit oven, so I was able to bake them together. In a large bowl, I'm adding in 1 can of cream of chicken soup, some melted butter, salt, black pepper, finely diced onion, some grated Colby Jack cheese. If you wanted, you could sub with some cheddar cheese, but Cracker Barrel uses Colby Jack, giving that a good mix to get well combined. In goes the thawed hash browns, and giving it another gentle toss to combine. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm placing and lightly spreading the hash brown casserole evenly in a buttered baking dish. This will bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 to 50 minutes or until it starts to get a little brown around the edges. This Copycat Cracker Barrel hash brown casserole is done. It is really hot, so I'm going to let it cool for about 15 minutes and then we are ready to eat. This cheesy Cracker Barrel hash brown casserole was a great side dish to the Cracker Barrel meatloaf. I enjoyed the creamy cheesy flavor. The onion was a nice compliment, and the hash browns added the perfect texture. This hash brown casserole is so easy to make and would be a wonderful complement to any meal. Please remember to check out my Copycat Cracker Barrel meatloaf recipe. I hope you give this Copycat Cracker Barrel hash brown casserole a try and enjoy. If you like this recipe, please hit the like and subscribe button. Remember to hit the bell next to the subscribe to make sure that you get my future video recipes. You can also find me on Steemit, Facebook, and at my website. Feel free to share this recipe and my channel with your friends and family. And until next time, much love.